You want to know a secret? Women are scary. I know, right? Bold statement. But throughout history, you can see that it's been a commonly held belief, but it's presented to us as we need protecting. But if you pay attention at all, I know that's a lot to ask sometimes. Anyway, you've probably realized we've been misled for literally centuries, but I have finally experienced firsthand the truth of why that is. It's not that we need protecting. It's that others need us to never figure out precisely why we're scary and why it's actually they who need the protecting from us. I mean, I'm sure like most women, I don't feel scary, nor do I feel like I need to be protected. Well, except from the people who insist that I do. And most historical and contemporary evidence points to my being right. Okay, great, but why am I saying all this shit? Good point. So let me give you a little background so that the rest will make sense. Wait, put away your fucking swiping finger. Just stick around for a minute. You might actually learn something. Okay, for those of you who actually stuck around after I said learn. Anyway, about 8 weeks ago, and as the salty historian, I was the guest on a podcast called Hurricane Girls. Not long after that, I was invited to become a permanent member of the podcast. When I tell you that I immediately said yes, yeah, it was a little faster than that. We're a group of amazing women from different walks of life. We get together for 2 hours a week with amazing guests, women, of course, in a safe space, no dudes, where we can speak freely about things that matter to women and without being told that we don't actually know anything about being a woman. Suffice to say, only 8 weeks later, I'm still finding my footing. And the other hurricanes, as a result, don't really know that much about me. We've never met in person. Well, except for last week when I got to meet the incomparable Sheila Chappelle. She's the brilliant woman behind this whole thing. She brought us together. And thank fuck for that. Okay, so now why I'm saying these things. A couple of weeks ago, I was on the struggle bus in a serious way. Yes, I know, most of us have been. But this was something else. There's no reason for specifics because that's ancillary to what I experienced. That night, when I was falling apart, these wonderful women who barely know me stepped in and virtually circled the wagons around me. They hunkered down with me. And for the first time in my life, I was among a group of women who demonstrated how women really are. They held me up when I was falling down. They busted out the hammers to shatter the boulders that felt like they were raining down on me. They pulled out an implement to cut a bitch. Metaphorically speaking, of course. For that entire conversation, I felt safe, seen, welcomed, understood. And with each word they spoke, I felt loved and empowered. And that is why women terrify the weak-minded, the Peener Patrol, if you will. What I'm pretty sure most women have been told since we drew our first breath, is that women can't get along. We have to battle each other for attention, for a man's attention especially. We're bitchy, we're catty, we just can't do it. But now I know how untrue that is. When one of our sisters is hurting, we don't turn our backs on her. We are her strength. When hers is failing, we build communities instead of bombs. We lift each other up instead of tearing countries down. We can do everything and anything, especially when we circle the wagons and rely on one another. What I witnessed and felt that night is what I've seen repeatedly in women's history, but never internalized. Those women on the podcast, Hurricane Girls, in case you forgot, those women proved we can do all of that, supporting one another and making the future better in the blink of a fucking eye, even barely knowing one another, with literally no questions asked. I finally saw through the bullshit. I finally believe that when we are a community, if you come for one of us, you come for all of us. And that right there is why the Peener Patrol does everything they can to exercise control over us, to steal from us our intelligence, our bravery and valor, our creativity and invention, our humor and laughter, our bodies, and our autonomy, our ability to become a community, which would allow us to figure out just how fucked up and wrong they've always been. If we never have the freedom to communicate and understand our sisters, we can never transcend the lies. And they bank on us never finding out that the strength of one woman bolsters the next, and the next, and the next, and we become even more powerful. I mean, if we aren't allowed to drive or vote or get out of bad situations, we can't lift each other up, which means we can't rise up, and erase the bullshit that we've been fed since birth. If we never come together as a community, we'll forget we can and should say we have had enough. Women's history has been minimized, erased, called legend. We've been forced into submission. But you know what? All of that was the calm before the storm, and the weather is changing. We are not a light drizzle that nobody notices. We are powerful, the tempest. And I know you know deep down that this is the time of the hurricanes. So be one.